Will Matt Stafford see the same type of success that all the other quarterbacks who switched teams experienced in 2021? Julio Jones is rumored to be traded in just a couple of days. What the f*** are the Falcons doing? And will Tim Tebow be a distraction for the Jacksonville Jaguars? All coming up on today's edition of the Dom Mafia Report. Yo ho ho, Dom Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. And you know what? Finally, I must say that, some news is starting to come up. I feel like I'm not just pulling storylines and puff pieces out of my ass anymore. There's a lot of exciting things going on, as mentioned in the introduction of this video, and we are going to take a deep dive right on in there, baby. But as always, before we get into it, I do want to just give a couple of announcements. Number one, as always, I am giving away either a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, announcing the winner on July 2nd. In order to enter, all you need to do is screenshot proof that you are subscribed to me and DM it to me over at Instagram at RealDanMitchell, and you might as well follow me there as well, because that's where I will be announcing the winner. Number two, I just created a Discord server. It has been absolutely popping the off. Last night, we actually used it for call-ins during the AFC East Roundtable, and it went extremely well. I'm planning on doing a lot more call-in shows and even game shows where you guys can win potential prizes like tickets to your favorite team's home game or jerseys, etc. Last but not least, a lot of you always ask me, Dan, how can I support your channel? Well, let me tell you what, my friend. Best thing you can do right now is smash the ever-living out of that like button. But if you ever want to go the extra mile, Patreon is the way to do it, and you can find that link in my description along with everything else that I just mentioned. First story of the day, Matt Stafford, we all know him, the former Lions quarterback. Frankly, in my opinion, one of the worst wastes of talent I have ever seen in my entire life, thanks to the organization that he was a part of his entire career, is hopeful that he will be able to thrive at his new home in LA, like all of the other quarterbacks who are in a similar position to him have thus far. Matt Stafford, in my opinion, is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the only thing that held him back was the organization that he was a part of. Not to mention, I have never seen anybody skull a beer the way that my homie did just a couple of years ago. The LA Rams clearly got a winner on multiple facets. But anyway, during his interview, Matt Stafford said this about his hopes of being successful in LA. And absolutely, there's no question. Different scenario, but even Tom Brady last year, going to a new team and a different coach and a new way of doing things and having success, that's something that makes you feel good after you make a decision to move on. I asked to move to another team, and then you look around and see there's other people who have done it and have been successful. I'm going to have to work my tail off to make sure I'm ready to go and make sure to catch up to the speed of everybody else who's been in that offense for 4 to 5 years. It's a lot of work for me, but at the same time, it's exciting knowing I'm getting the opportunity to do some things I've always wanted to do. So best of luck to Matt Stafford. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm definitely hoping that he can go on ahead and find some success. And at the same time, I am also thankful that he did not end up going into the AFC. So best of luck, Staffy. We're rooting for you. Next up, Tim Tebow, the Virgin Boy Wonder. Actually, let me correct myself. As you know, Tim Tebow was a virgin right up until January of 2020 when he got married. He was celibate his entire life, which is cool. I definitely respect that. But a lot of me always thought the reason that he never panned out in the NFL his first try was the fact that dude simply wasn't okay? He's married now, baby. So you know he's been beaten chic. So now I'm expecting this man to make a smooth transition into the tight end room within Jacksonville. However, there's a lot of reports coming out that a lot of teammates were not happy with the signing, and there's also a lot of media heads thinking that this is going to be a distraction for the locker room. Now, don't get me wrong, he was super excited once he ended up signing his contract today, and he was quoted in saying this. And I want to thank the Jaguars for the opportunity to compete and earn the chance to be a part of this team. And I know it will be a challenge, but it is a challenge I embrace. I am dedicated to taking the direction of our coaching staff and learning from my teammates. I appreciate everyone's support as I embark on this new journey. Now, these rumors have clearly been flying for a very long time, but at the end of the day, I think it's clear as day. Urban Meyer sees Tim Tebow as the epitome of a coach's son, right? The kid, yeah, maybe he's never played that specific position before, but you know what? He's the coach's son. There's no question that Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer have a relationship, especially since Urban Meyer was the head coach of that University of Florida football team that won a championship back in 2008, 2009. And there's definitely some type of favoritism. As I mentioned already, a lot of teammates in-house are upset about the signing because they think it was frankly unfair moving forward. Now, is this actually a ploy by Jacksonville to go on ahead and just fill seats? And so you just ended up drafting Trevor Lawrence. That's going to fill the stands. You just ended up signing Tim Tebow, who right now you would expect that the stadium would be absolutely full. Not to mention, Tim Tebow jerseys are already on sale right now. I mean, honestly, say for example that no one attended a Jacksonville Jaguars game all year, the Tebow jerseys are clearly going to balance out their financial sheets. At the end of the day, I do love a good comeback story. I'm hoping that Tim Tebow will be able to go on ahead and actually make a pretty smooth transition. Always a sucker for stories like that. But at the end of the day, I unfortunately don't see him being on this team by the time week 1 comes around. I think he's going to be a training camp casualty. Regardless, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is this going to be a distraction for Jacksonville? Or what do you have to say? Last but not least, this morning I woke up and I saw this tweet, and I was completely blown away, suggesting that the Falcons are still interested in trading Julio Jones. And so I know that there was a bunch of rumors flying around prior to the draft, but then a lot of it ended up quieting down, especially since I was listening to an interview with Matt Ryan essentially saying that he wouldn't know what this offense would look like without Julio Jones. And frankly, I don't blame him. Barring any injuries, if Julio Jones were to consistently stay healthy in so far his 10-year career in the NFL, he would be shattering records all over the place. I mean, dude man is already number 1 in the entire league for average yards per game when he is on the field for, I believe it was all time. But regardless, this is a shock. This is a shock, especially once you consider the fact that the Falcons ended up drafting Kyle Pitts, right? Step forward. Now, they're thinking about trading Julio Jones, 2 steps back. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? According to the article that I read, it seems like that the Atlanta Falcons are in desperation mode when it comes to their cap space. I think right now they have close to about $500,000, which is essentially nothing. So they need to be able to make particular moves so they can afford to sign their rookies, maybe some undrafted free agents. So money is definitely in the question by itself. Now, there have been a couple of teams that have been rumored to be interested. The Tennessee Titans, I frankly don't know how they'd be able to afford him, not unless they pull some type of Brandon Beane cap magic. But that is a team that has demonstrated interest, as well as the New England Patriots. I'm praying to the football gods that this does not happen, and you should as well. The Baltimore Ravens, which I think would be a pretty interesting fit, especially with Lamar needing as much wide receiver help as he possibly can. I think that would be a pretty cool fit. And then, of course, the San Francisco 49ers are looking into that as well. So I'm really interested to see what's going on. I mean, this guy's an absolute stud, say that he can stay healthy, and I still think he has probably another solid 2 to 3 years in his career at playing at his highest possible level, barring any injury. Do me a favor, leave a comment. Where do you think Julio Jones is going to go? If he is going to go anywhere, really, really want to hear your thoughts on that. Dom Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. I will see you tomorrow. And before I let you go, always remember, let's go Buffa.